Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new chapter of Old Man Brad. Whether you are new to the show or returning for another chapter, thank you so much for giving me a listen. And if you love the show, drop me a review on your favorite podcast app or become a patron, patreon.com/oldmanbrad. So unfortunately, we are nearing the end of the month of Mattei. I'll be talking the final film in this series. Up to this point, we've talked Cruel Jaws, Hell of the Living Dead, Rats, Terror of the Night, Zombie 3, and over on Patreon, you can hear The Other Hell. I have one more left, and I can only bring one special guest in to talk this movie. We'll be talking 1990s Night Killer with Jason from Binge Movies. How you doing, Jason?
I thought the guest was going to be Drew from Real Feels, so that's why I'm here. I was told I was just supposed to be an audience member to laugh at Drew's impressions and song and dance number, but yet he's nowhere to be found.
These movies line up for that, right? For Drew to be here.
To sing and dance?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. And I want to know where he is. I want to know where in the world is Carmen Sandiego and where in the world is Drew from Real Feels?
I don't know. That's
the game I'm playing, and no one has an answer.
I'm hoping he's in California somewhere. If he's not, then we really don't know.
I'm not sure he's ever been in California. I think he's in Idaho.
It's all just a ruse.
A ruse.
Yeah. Last time you were here, we tried to make sense of Neon Maniacs.
I delivered for you the longest and worst episode in the history of Old Man Brad, and I'm back again for more.
Now I brought you back to try to make sense of Night Killer.
In fairness, Neon Maniacs is one that I wanted to watch for a long time and said, hey, I'll do this one. And then this one, I was not given the option.
You were, but you went and moved and everything got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, this is correct. I had to spontaneously move because a sewage pipe erupted, not in my place, in my neighbor's place. And somehow that meant they had to take up the entire first floor of where I live. It wasn't my sewage, or at least it wasn't only my sewage. And that, I think that's a prime metaphor for the movie that we're going to talk about. There's a lot of shit that's flowing from the ground. It may not be yours. Yeah. We have no idea where it's coming from. We have no idea where it's going. But stuff's going to get ripped up.
Before we dive into the movie, do you have any history with any Bruno Mattei movies or, his partner?
I've seen 5% of his filmography.
Okay. Or any of his regular partner, Claudio Fragasso.
Obviously Trolls 2, and I've also seen a couple other of his movies without even knowing that they were his movies, but Letterboxd tells me I've seen like 2% of one, 5% of the other. I don't know. Figure that part out. Whatever ones that didn't work on together. But they all made hundreds of movies in every conceivable genre, and they just made a bunch of weirdo Italian movies that I think they were trying to sell to drive-in movie theaters as if they were, and grindhouses as if they were actually American-made films.
Yes.
You get a lot of muscly action movies. You get a lot of weird fantasy movies. You get a lot of weird horror movies. The two of them combined equal one poor man's Fauci.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Like they don't have the Gates of Hell trilogy. They have the whatever, the one that you're talking about, right? Like they have.
Yeah, he did Hell of the Living Dead, which goes by 100 different other names.
That's right. And that's the other thing. I think they're both somewhere in the Romero extended, not Fulci ripoffs family tree. They're a ripoff of Fulci's ripoff of Romero's Living Dead. I think is my understanding.
Hell of the Living Dead is definitely a 100% multiple times ripoff of Romero and Fulci. There's multiple scenes of like, oh yeah, you watched this, so you did
now,
this.
Now, Fulci helped fund Dawn of the Dead by selling the international rights, and in exchange for that, he got the opportunity to make Italian sequels. There's kind of a handshake deal between him and George. As far as I know, with Bruno Mattei, there was no deal of any kind between anybody.
I don't think he struck deals. I think he was just like, you know what? I can make a movie for cheap. I'll throw stock footage.
I can depend on the extremely loose copyright laws of Italy.
Yes.
A sequel to whatever movie I want to, including Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And that's how we end up with a Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff that also wants to be a Dario Argento psychological giallo sex thriller.
And that's like all of his movies. I mean, they're all that way. Like
they are.
Zombie 3, Fulci started it, left, Mattei finished it, and you can tell. Like there's night and day difference.
Yeah, and I have seen Zombie 3. I'm very familiar with that one, and you're right. You can almost pinpoint the moment it goes off the cliff. And you're like, oh, well, this must be where Mattei got involved. Here's the thing, I think there's a sort of badges of honor that you get if you're a horror movie fan, and you have to watch at least some of Argento, and you have to, as far as the Italian, you have to watch Italian movies. You have to watch some of the Bava films, both Lamberto and Mario. You have to watch some of the Mattei films. You have to watch, there's maybe a half a dozen of these guys of all varying quality. All the Italian horror movies are weird. Even the good ones that are close to being, they're not normal. None of them are normal. But the closer you get to those Z-grade ripoff movies, when you get into weird Barbarians of New York 2075 and weird shit like that, you're just, anything at any moment can happen on the screen. There is no regard whatsoever for continuity of tone, thought, dialogue, characterization, anything. So when somebody comes to you and says, do you want to watch a Bruno Mattei film, that it's going to be every scene is a different movie.
Or full of stock footage or footage from other films. You just don't know.
Yeah, and literally it could stop and start and just be a different movie.
Yes.
It could be a script that they wrote and every scene is a different movie, or it could just, they ran out of money and they just repurposed footage from
that's why I did the series this month, is because just the stories and everything behind all these movies fascinated me of everything.
It's crazy. Do you have stories for this one?
There are a few for this one, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I look forward to hearing
those. Not quite like Cruel Jaws or Zombie 3 or any of those, but there are some.
So the way that I knew this movie, I've never seen it before. Although I don't know if that's true. I couldn't think to myself, have I just seen this talked about in bad movie circles so much
that you think you've seen it?
I think I've seen it myself, or have I seen it myself? Because if I haven't seen it, I have seen 75% of it.
Oh, okay. All I knew was The Mask going in. So that's all I knew.
I knew The Mask. I knew Axel. Talk about being molested in the boys' room. I knew Kentucky Fried Chicken. I knew a great deal of this. I knew the bizarro phone calls and the Melody.
Yeah.
I'm so horny. I knew all of that. I knew the end. I've completely and entirely seen the ending. So I think I've actually already watched this movie.
Good segue from there. We'll jump into it. So let's just jump into it. Let's talk Night Killer.
Virginia Beach Police Department. Officer Gabrielle here.
I just got a phone call from a guy spying on me.
Was it an obscene phone call?
Yes?
Did he threaten you?
Yes.
Poor woman will never be the same again. She doesn't remember anybody or anything.
All of the victims were raped before they were tortured, mutilated, and killed by the masked maniac.
Melanie Beck is the only surviving victim of a killer rapist who wears a Freddy Krueger-esque mask and claw, which we'll get into that. Despite having seen the killer's face, Beck has blocked it from her memory. Becoming suicidal, she tries to kill herself on the beach, but is saved by Axel, another rapist sleazeball who keeps her locked in his hotel room. All this builds to a mind-blowing conclusion. So this was written and directed by Claudio Fragasso, but he was credited as Clyde Anderson. Bruno Mattei came in to add blood and gore scenes later, which we'll kind of get into that. It stars Tara Buckman, Peter Hooton, Richard Foster, and a few others. I think there's only like 9 credited, even though there's more people listed in the movie. This came out in 1990, so we're at our 35th anniversary on this film.
Wow, look at us go.
You know, you said you weren't sure if you'd seen it. I had never seen it before. Released
You
in
own it,
Italy. I own it now.
Yeah.
Released in Italy as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 or whatever it was called there, like Don't Open the Door, I think is what it was called,
Something
translated
like that,
to, which Claudio was upset that they did that. It's Italians. You look into Italian movies and that's a lot of, I think, how a lot made money over there. Is like,
Do
you know what?
Do you
Like,
have listeners in Italy?
I don't know.
Where I thought you were going to go with that was it's Italian. They're dirty people.
Oh, no.
I was going to say, Brad, you
No.
probably have listeners over there. So
They like to make series out of random movies. Like the La Casa series. Have you heard of those? Like from,
100%. Yeah. Oh, and I've seen most of them and they have nothing to do with each other.
I think they did the same thing with Demons. They turned a bunch of other movies into sequels.
The first two are legit, although the second one is basically a weird reboot of the first one, where the first one was a movie, but the movie made the events of the happen in the world of the second one, but they're watching the first one in the second one, and there was already a movie in the first one. So yeah, logic be damned, copyright be damned, hygiene and marital fidelity be damned. Italians are going to Italian.
Yes. This series that I did, as I was watching Night Killer, I'm like, this is actually the perfect movie to culminate this whole thing together into this. Claudio, he wanted to make like a psychological thriller with hardly any gore, any blood.
That would have been enough, right? Like the heart of this movie, when you really get down to it, is a sadistic psychopath rapist kidnaps a woman, and she kind of gets this like Stockholm syndrome eventually with this guy. And that's enough. That's enough for a movie.
The way that all happens, where he like pulls up next to her in the car and then chases her
Jeep,
down.
Drinking. He's day drinking in a Jeep. She's on her way to the mall or whatever. And yeah, he just chases, hey lady, wanna wet your whistle? And then he's like chugging out of a paper bag, and she's obviously disturbed by a man driving in a coverless Jeep in October in the Northeast. I mean, it's like fucking snowing outside, and this guy's driving around, and he's swerving, and he's overtly sexually harassing her, and she's already traumatized by this point
Because she's already
been attacked by Gooey Gus. Do you know who Gooey Gus is, Brad?
I don't know who Gooey Gus is.
Can you do me a favor? This is bad podcasting, but can you Google Gooey Gus?
A few moments later.
All right, yep.
Is that not what the villain of this movie looks like?
Gooey Gus looks like a toxic Avenger mixed with Grimace.
Yes, but that's very good to describe to the audience at home. But does Gooey Gus not look like
A little bit, yeah.
the villain of this movie?
I know we're jumping to this guy chasing her down, but you know, Claudio wanted to make the psychological thriller, which is in there.
Yeah, it's most of the movie eventually.
The producers were like, no, we want some gore, blood. They call up Bruno and are like, hey, can you do this for us? I've been trying to find stories of this. I don't think that they were kind of partners anymore. I think Claudio like wanted to kind of make his own path and not with him. Yeah. And he was, I did watch an interview. There's an interview with him on the Blu-ray for this, where he said that Bruno came to him, and he's the editor on the movie. Bruno was, and he's listed as, what was his name? It was like JB something, was because it's one of the names that he uses. Sure, because they all just use pseudonyms.
Well, they would use pseudonyms a lot of times with American names,
yes,
British sounding names, so they could sell it to the Western market or the rest of the West.
But in the interview, he said that Bruno came to him and said, you have all these long shots and it's hard to edit together. But then they brought him in to piece in punching through chests and other scenes. And Bruno was the whole opening scene in the theater.
You were right to start where you did, because it makes total sense, right? There is a sadistic, psychological, like kind of giallo film, but more of like a psychological thriller going on here of a traumatized woman being taken advantage of by another man, and then there's like a twist ending. That would have been a very weird, brutal, sexually perverted movie, but
correct.
It's a movie. grafted onto this movie, starting from, and it doesn't, there's no fade in.
No, it just starts.
It starts like an image just pops on the screen, and we are watching single-handedly, hands down, the single worst performer I have ever seen in any film ever. A woman who is teaching or they're in a rehearsals of some sort of stage musical, and it's several uninterrupted minutes of uncoordinated people, like a Benetton ad of various races and genders in various styles of dress. Very clearly, like somebody just got some crew from this movie is what it felt like. It said, all right, we need one another gore scene. Here it is. We'll go to this theater, and you get up there and just thrust your pelvis in the camera over and over and over again as this woman has some kind of a meltdown that was obviously not scripted.
No,
she makes the strangest fucking noise I've ever heard a human being make in a movie.
They probably called Bruno up and said, hey, I need you to do this. And he's like, sure. Who can I get to throw something together? I need a kill to start this movie off. What can I do?
Yeah, can we get the lady from catering and a couple of the gaffers?
Yeah,
get up on the stage that my cousin operates, and then have everybody just kind of gyrate and thrust around. And then somebody said, "Well, Bruno, it looks awful. It doesn't look like these don't look like professional dancers. Nobody will believe this."
Like, it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. We'll work that in. She'll just tell them, "You all suck. This thing that we're rehearsing is going to be terrible." And then she's going to storm off in a huff after the star of the show, who's going to arrive late. And this woman's going to improv her frustration. And then the woman decided to make one of the most god-awful noises I've ever heard a person make. And then walks off screen. And then we're going to follow her, where eventually her throat is going to be slashed.
With some very poor makeup on her neck.
Well, there's an insert shot of a neck being slashed.
Yes.
That's not very good, but it makes sense. But then we cut to the medium wide of her, and there's no cut.
No, it's just like red.
It's just red, and then she's like, "Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I'm dying."
Yes. The longest death ever.
If your throat is slashed, you can't talk anymore. She has like a monologue. Then we watch her scoot down her butt down like the stairs of the theater, one step at a time, as she's going, oh my God, help me. I rewound it. I watched it 3 times. It's unbelievable.
And then is it her that gets punched in the chest, or is it? I think it's her, isn't it?
Oh, it's her. Yeah.
Yeah. Gets punched in the chest.
Thrown off the balcony. But when she gets thrown off the balcony, there's no hole.
No, there's not.
So yeah, this version of Freddy Krueger, who looks nothing like Freddy Krueger.
Now, I don't know where they get this Freddy Krueger, because it has nothing to do with dreams. It's like sleazy phone calls.
Yeah, it's dirty phone calls.
The mask, it looks nothing like Freddy.
No.
And just because he has one hand that has claws on it, but it's like a rubber monster hand with really long claws.
I think it's because he has like a melted face look.
I guess.
But it doesn't look like Freddy. And you're right.
No.
It's one hand of it's like, yeah. And it's very clearly, even in the movie, it's hard to describe this. If you haven't seen this movie, this is going to be impossible for us to describe it to you. It's clearly a guy in a rubber mask, but I think it's supposed to be clearly a guy in a rubber mask.
And that was my wonder at the beginning.
Oh yeah, at the beginning you're like, wait a minute, is this just bad makeup? Or is it just supposed to be a guy with a bad Halloween costume on?
That's what I wrote down at the beginning, was like, is this supposed to be a monster, or is this supposed to be a dude?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be kind of like Ghostface, where it's very obviously a guy with a mask on. It's just because like the mask has like a neck to it and everything, and the neck is never tucked into the shirt line, so there's never a moment where the mask is on and fits. It's always flapping around, and so is the hand.
Yeah,
Now I don't know why that hand is so magical that he can punch entirely through bodies, because every kill ends with him punching through somebody's guts.
Yeah, when we find out, I mean, spoiler alert, we're obviously going to give everything away. But when you find out it's not a creature, I'm like,
it's just literally some guy.
It's some guy, but he can punch through people's chests.
Yeah, that's not explained. And I will also say, I will eventually get there, Brad. I watched this movie maybe twice in my life. I know who that guy is, but I don't know who he is. I did not understand at the beginning of the movie who he was and what his relationship was and why he took the daughter and why he dropped the daughter off. And is he her brother-in-law? What is he?
I think isn't that her ex? Because she's going.
That her ex?
Yeah, because she's going through a divorce. Remember, she's on the phone because he calls her, and then after he gets off the phone, another weird scene where she just like opens her shirt up and starts playing with herself.
What? Yeah, this phone call with a contentious ex-husband,
and all you see is like the back of his head. They never show his face right there.
Never show his face, and he's got this crazy voice. Melody, you bitch. Give me my daughter, you bitch, or like whatever. And then she hangs up the phone, walks over to the mirror, unbuttons her sweater, her titties come out. She starts rubbing and playing with her breast, but her dialogue is like, wow, what a sad life you live, Melody Beck. The dialogue is clearly written for that sort of psychological drama that was originally in the script, but they're like, we need to Mattei this. We need exploitation in this, so we're gonna need your titties out where you're.
Yeah, we need some. We need some boob shots. Come on.
But it's a scene of like deep anguish and pathos with one of the worst actresses ever. But in comparison to the theater lady, to give this woman the Academy Award. But anyways, it's a serious scene of this woman like lamenting her life and her life choices and how did her life come to this? But she's fondling her breast in a mirror while she does it.
And then she gets another phone call, but this time she thinks
it's like a heavy breather. Yeah,
it's him, but it's like a heavy breather, sleazy guy. Oh yes, I love that.
Can I ask you a question, Brad?
Yeah.
Are there still perverts who make breathy phone calls, or did caller ID and cell phones kill that? That used to be a thing.
I don't know.
Like, is somebody out there calling one of your listeners right now? Does one of the 1% of your audience that's actually female or identifies as female, have they ever gotten in the last 10 years, let's say, a breathy phone call of a guy going, I'm gonna fuck you. Oh, I was gonna just watch.
Yeah, I'm horny.
But I'm too horny. I'm gonna fuck your brains out.
At this point, I'm watching it going,
what is this movie?
What is going on? And I'm like, Jason's probably going, really? This is what you get.
Look, I have watched Don't Panic, I don't know how many times, and I have that on Blu-ray in there. I don't think I have it on 4K. So I've seen a lot of weird slasher movies. And I host a show called The Slashers with mutual friend Paul from the Countdown, semi-retired, and Megan Kearns from Spoiler Piece Theater, among other things. And when we talk about slashers, and you've covered so many, whether they're old or new, but especially if they're old, a lot of them kind of veer into rape or rape adjacent kind of stuff. And that they're selling it to you as like, this is how despicable and horrible this person is. And most of the time, sometimes it's like, look how like Revenge of the Nerds style. Isn't rape hilarious? This movie is like somewhere in between, where I think it's definitely presented to us as this breathy phone call guy is definitely presented to us or supposed to be menacing. And it kind of reminds me of New York Ripper, which is another Fulci movie.
Yeah.
Because is New York Ripper the one where the killer has the Donald Duck voice?
Yes.
Yes. It kind of feels like we got to get a caller who's going to call and harass people with a goofy voice and to say all this really despicable, sick sexual stuff.
Yeah.
But it also feels like we're kind of supposed to be titillated by it. And that's where it gets a little weird, because it's like, it's one thing if you present this to me as, this is the seedy side of life that nobody wants to talk about, and our killer is like vicious like a killers can be in real life, and not just like a quipping, pajama salesman like Freddy became, or a silent murderer like Jason. And it starts off as one of those. It's so fucking goofy.
Yeah.
With the mask and all that shit. And then we delve into like this personal drama of this woman's life, and you're like, what is this? And then it goes into sexual harassment and then just rape, and you're going, what the fuck is this movie?
I think that right before he gets her, that when he calls and then I think she calls the police and he's still on the phone, and it's that scene, the way she just kind of opens the door and he's just like sitting there with the mask on.
Yeah.
And his phone.
It's so goofy.
It is. It's very.
You can't help but laugh, but then the subject matter is like really disturbing. Like even when she calls the cops, he's like, have you been receiving harassing phone calls? Yes. And did they threaten to rape you? Yes. Like her performance is so unmodulated. And he's like, okay, I want you to listen to me. I want you to lock every door of your household. And I want you to wait, and I'm going to call you back in 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. Now repeat back to me everything that I just told you. And then she's like, okay, I think I can. You told me that you would like me to lock every door in here and not leave and don't answer the door for anybody. And then I need to wait for exactly 5 minutes. And he's like, good, I'll call you back in 5 minutes. And then the killer's there.
What's the first thing she does? She's like, I'm gonna go look around, and he comes out of nowhere. Like,
yeah, he's already been in the house. Yeah.
You think he's locked out at one point, and then all of a sudden he comes through. He's like, where did you have a side door?
Doors be damned in this movie, though, especially by the end. We're just flying right through doors.
She makes sure she mentions that they have 2 phone lines too, multiple times. We have 2 phone lines.
That's like a big, yeah. She's like, there are big phone lines. And then she proceeds multiple times, I feel, to give the full phone number plus area code.
I need both of them.
Oh, right.
It's the same number, but the last 2 are 2-3 instead of 2-2.
Why is this scene so long? Why are we going through again? It's like we don't understand cinema. We don't understand cinematic language. Like as an audience, we can jump to a lot of conclusions, right? Because we've seen movies before.
Oh yeah,
these sort of movies, these so bad they're good movies, and a lot of this Italian cinema kind of falls in this category. And obviously, like Fellini and whatever. This Z-grade Italian shit. They just spell everything out. The characters will just say absolutely everything that's happening. Well, I better go lock the windows right now. It's like they put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable of cinema, the language of cinema. And so you like something that should be emphasized is not emphasized at all. And something that should not even be on screen gets 15 minutes and a fucking orchestral crescendo. And you're like, why, when this lady locks the window, does the score all of a sudden kick in like ba-da-da? And then like when the guy appears, he's just standing there. Is that just is like the score just ill-timed? What the fuck is happening?
Isn't he just standing there when the phone rings too? And it's like she just pauses and stops, like he's right there. Oh, I gotta answer the phone now.
Yeah. He's in here with me right now. It's me, Melody, you bitch. I'm gonna fuck your brains out. And like they're just staying 2 feet from each other. It's crazy.
And then after all this, she's in the hospital, forgotten everything.
Yeah, we don't see it either.
The detective, poor man's Dr. Loomis.
Oh yeah. This guy is like, can we get Donald Pleasance out of what's the rehab center? The Betty Ford.
Betty Ford.
Can we get Donald Pleasance out of Alcoholics Anonymous at Betty Ford long enough? If we give him a first class ticket to Italy, will he come over and do the shtick over here? Oh, he won't. Does he have a non-union equivalent? Let's get that guy.
Let's get that guy.
Donald Unpleasant. And let's fly his ass over here.
His scene was weird because he like gets right up in her face and is like really close to her talking. Like I'm like, is he gonna start making out with her? What is going?
I think it's one of those things like. Somewhere between the culture, something gets lost in translation.
Yeah.
And I think what that is supposed to indicate is like Donald Pleasance as Loomis, you said, which even Loomis is a throwback to Psycho, but is such an intense character, right? He's like Ahab, right? Like the Leslie Vernon movie says, right? He's this intense. I've studied him since he was a child. He's nothing but evil.
He's pure evil.
Boy. He's pure evil, right? He's so amped up all the time. I think that's what this guy is like kind of trying to go for in some of those scenes. It's like, I got to get up really close to this person's face and be really intense about this thing. But I'm also confused about the killer himself. He's obviously a sexual sadist. He's been on a slasher hunt because there's a also very poorly narrated news scene about the killing rapist who's been going around slashing women. They even call him like the slasher killer or whatever. Like they just call him flat out a slasher. He has the glove, which apparently has the magic powers of
that you can punch through people's chests.
Right. But he also has a stiletto knife. What's he using the knife for until the end? Does that knife come into play anywhere else in the movie?
I don't think it does, because I
don't remember it anywhere else. He says a knife. Why does he need a knife? He's got a handful of claws.
Yeah, I don't think it plays in anywhere else.
Does he kill anybody? Do we watch him kill anybody with that switchblade? Which is a giallo trope.
No, I'm trying to think. Like the girl in the little warehouse factory latexy place. I think because she gets punched. Like that's all the kills. It's all punch you through the chest and you're dead.
Okay, so then this leads me to this question, and maybe you don't have the answer for this either. But was like the Bruno Mattei, did he add the mask and the glove element?
That I don't know.
Were there originally 2 rapists? And if there were, was one of them like a giallo killer with like the black glove and knife, and then there was the Axel character? Or was it just Axel and her confined in a space? Do we know any of that? And then they completely added the other killer plot? Because it kind of feels that way.
That part didn't come up in the research. It was just that he added gore and they wanted more blood. He did the whole beginning scene, but it didn't say that he added this. Anything that I saw that he added that character.
Because the main villain of this movie does not belong in this movie. Or this movie does not belong with its main killer. Like it's 2 completely different things. Like on different planets.
Yes. I don't know if he was trying to show 2 psychotic sides of a rapist with the Axel and then this killer who, spoiler, ends up being her ex-husband.
Are we sure about that? Is that her ex-husband?
He's the guy with the scar on his face. Which when she ends up in the hospital, when they're like, when you see him and he's like, I'm the one who saved her, but this happened, and you see the scar and it looks like, okay, that's been healed for a while.
Yes.
That's not like you just got cut.
It's not a wound, it is a scar. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just happened the same day or the day before, or whenever she gets out of her coma. Yeah. Okay. So then I have another question. He's married. Her ex-husband got remarried because he says to her, my wife is right about you. Men are attracted to you like a bitch in heat. You ruin marriages. But I'm like, if that's her ex-husband, what marriage did she ruin? Or was she unfaithful in their marriage?
I don't know.
And so that's why he left her and then he remarried?
I thought that was like his girlfriend for the longest. I didn't know if he remarried. Like there's so much. It was confusing.
I watched it.
So did I.
With no phone, no computer in front of me. I took no notes. And I was like, I'm just going to watch this movie and absorb it into my spirit as deep as it'll go. And when it got to the end of the movie and she takes the mat, and this is also just so like this plot of this movie is okay. Woman is attacked by a slasher villain who is in a Halloween story mask, and she somehow survives it. We don't really know how, and we don't know why she was attacked in the first place, and we don't know who the killer is. Presumably her ex-husband, maybe, comes in and he's there to pick up the daughter, I think, or something. They're talking about Christmas or some shit. And so we believe, and accidentally bumps into the killer and breaks this whole thing up and rescues her. And now she's in the hospital and he speaks to the press. He's like, this poor woman's been through enough. Leave her alone. And then he's like by her bedside and he's like, oh my God, he got me. I got this scar, even though it just happened 12 hours ago. And okay, fine. I follow all of that. But then the end comes. The mask comes off.
Mm-hmm.
To the last second of this movie, she had no idea who the killer was. Her memory was blocked. She was traumatized. She couldn't remember. As soon as he takes his mask off and he stares at her, and we are looking right at his face, we cut to her. We cut to Melanie, and she goes, oh my God, I remember you now. Well, no shit. And she's like, I know who you are. No shit. He's standing there without a fucking mask on. Like again, it's like that's a moment out of time. If right before he takes the mask off, she goes, she gets bonked on the head, and she goes, "Oh my God, I remember who you are. I remember everything." And then he takes the mask off, or whatever. Or she says, "Oh my God, I can't believe it's you, Sherman," whatever his name is. What's his name?
I think that was Sherman. Yeah.
Yeah. And he goes, "It is me!" Like scream, right? "Oh my God, I know who you are." And then like the mask comes off, and it was like,
maybe that wasn't her ex-husband. Maybe it was
I don't
just
think
like
it's her ex-husband.
Yeah.
Is he a neighbor? Who is he?
Was he the weird neighbor that came over the one time? It wasn't that guy, was it?
But I swear to God, he has a wife, because
Yes.
he keeps talking about, "My wife is right about you, Melanie."
The guy with the scar, he's with her daughter, right?
At some point, yeah, he takes the daughter. We think, okay, that's the other thing I don't understand. Like at the very beginning, she's like, okay, and she walks the daughter and hands the daughter to him. And if I'm not mistaken, he walks the daughter to like a town car around the corner and then puts the daughter in the car, and the car takes off. So I don't know if he's an intermediary between her and her ex-husband. Like he's a neighbor that they trust.
Maybe.
I thought it was maybe her brother-in-law. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. And I have no idea why he wants to kill her so bad. And also, they make it seem as if it's personal between him and her, right? Like
he does.
He's getting revenge. Why did he kill all these other women for months?
But yeah, why didn't he originally kill her too?
Why not just kill her? Yeah.
They did, the flashback kind of thing.
Literal like
yeah.
Wayne's World, yeah.
So you see her fight back and take the knife and cut him in the face, and then
I guess the knife comes into play 2 times. In the past, that's how she fights him off.
Yeah.
With the flashback. And then at the end, when she gets him in the balls with it.
And this is just the one killer. We haven't even dove
into
got
to the main plot of this movie.
This Axel guy who we mentioned before chased her down.
So Brad and listeners, right? Your listeners, old man Brad listeners. Does it not just sound like we just described the beginning, middle, and end of a slasher movie? Just with what we talked about. Mass killer, going around raping and killing women.
And that's one piece of the movie.
Finds a woman. She somehow survives, and he spends the rest of the movie trying to get back at her and kill her. And at the end, it turns out it's somebody she knows. That's literally every fucking slasher movie. That's Scream. That's all of them, right? Sandwiched in there is what, Brad? What happens for an hour in between all of this hour and 30 minutes?
Now the rest of it is another man who is a rapist.
A psychopathic rapist.
Yes.
Not a killer.
Not a killer.
A stranger from the street.
Chases her down, follows her into a bathroom in this building.
In a shopping mall.
To try to get her. She gets away, and then she decides she wants to kill herself. So she goes to the beach.
No, wait. How does she get away, though?
Well, she makes him strip down because she gets a gun, right?
She has a gun.
She has a gun.
Because she's been so traumatized.
Yes.
Reasonably so. From this home invasion, attempted rape and murder, and coma. She's out of her coma.
Yeah.
And now she's paranoid to be out in
herself.
public.
Yeah.
She's protecting herself. She has him strip all of his clothes off and do what with it, Brad?
Flush them in the toilet.
That's right. And the whole time she's making it seem as if she's going to rape him. Because she's like, how do you like it? What if I tell you to take your clothes off? What if I rape you?
After she leaves, and then he comes out, and he's just in his little bikini shorts.
Bikini briefs. He's in his mankini underwear, yes.
And they said something to him, and he made a comment about some boy trying to molest him or something like that.
So, yes. So what happens is he comes out, and he's walking very angrily, but triumphantly in his mankini, in his little manties. And so somebody goes, "Sir, are you okay? What happened?" He turns around and goes, "I'm molested in the little boy's room."
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
He walks in. We watch him stomp out in his underpants out of the cold Northeast November. And you're thinking, well, surely that was a mistake, that they shouldn't have left any of that in the film. That must be from a different movie. It slipped into the reel. We'll never see that guy again. Cut to a suicide picnic at the beach.
She has her blanket with all of her pill bottles at the beach.
All the barbiturates that a woman could get in the 80s. And all the Quaaludes, and all of the uppers, the downers, the flip-flaps, the zippers, the zoppers. It's all there. The Hoosker do's and the Hoosker don'ts are all laid out before her.
She's just taking them. She's taking them.
Now we're dealing with suicide. So we've had rape, we've had murder, we've had a second attempted kidnapping, 2 rapists, now a suicide. But by God's grace, or the grace of Bruno Mattei, what happens?
Axel got clothes, and he shows up just in the nick of time.
So the second rapist saves her life.
Picks her up to go dunk her in the ocean.
Get that poison out of her.
To get her to throw those up.
Yeah, the salt water will make her puke, yeah. So he's like, you got to get this out of your system. He's like, it's a sin to take your own life. And he's a rapist that's telling her this.
Yes, as he's forcing her head into the water.
Thrashing this poor actress into the water.
Multiple times in my notes, I just wrote, what the fuck is this movie? What the fuck is this movie?
The movie becomes like a reverse misery, not even like a reverse misery, like a rape misery.
Yes, because he takes her back to his, I guess he's in a hotel.
Yeah, for some reason.
To recover.
And we don't know why. We eventually get the answer. He is also obsessed with this woman. And he's like, I've been watching you for a long time, Melanie, and you don't value your own life. And like he's like the world's worst motivational coach. He's like the world's worst self-help guru, because his version of self-help is to tie you to a bed and scream at you about believing in yourself and then threatening you with a knife and rape. You don't believe in yourself, Melanie, you dumb bitch. And then you're like, what the hell? That's the root of your problem, isn't it, Melanie? You don't believe in your own self-worth. Yeah, he is the world's first fully functional self-help rapist.
But he brings her some fried chicken. He's nice that way.
Yeah, and then like at some point she develops a kind of, is it pseudo? Is it real? Is it just a survival mechanism? Some kind of Stockholm syndrome.
Yes.
Where she's like, I need you, Axel. I trust you. You're the only person who really understands me. It's like I've known you my whole life, which again will kind of end up having an explanation. But yeah, he leaves for a while, and then when he returns, he's got like a 2-piece from Colonel Sanders, and he's like, I love Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't know why my version of him is Al Pacino.
I don't know.
Jack and Jill.
The actor who played him, I kept looking at him thinking he looked like Cole Hauser.
He doesn't not look like him. He also doesn't not look like the rapist from Shawshank Redemption. Oh, honey, don't. He looks like a bull queer who takes by force.
But all in between this whole other rapist has her kind of prisoner, we still have the other masked killer on the loose. And he's in I guess, is this his, with the other mask and the latex stuff? Like, is
apparently
this like
he's into Hollywood prosthetics? I don't know why.
Is this his place, I guess?
There's a real greasy guy who we only see from the back who picks up a drunk, horny woman at a bar, as you would or want to do, and they start role playing. And this woman's also a terrible actress. And when they go back to his place, the role play is like we see a dude in a leather jacket and greasy hair picking up a skank. No slut shaming, but she's presented to us as being like a skank.
Yeah.
So she's like, let's go back to your place, and she's all drunk. And so cut to them and she's in her little mini skirt or whatever.
In his like workshop, I guess it is.
And then just sitting on a bar stool is the killer with the glove on and the mask, just sitting there. And they're incorporating this into their lovemaking as if it were a role play. It's like, I'm a sicko killer and I'm gonna choke you while I fuck you. And she's like, oh yeah, daddy, choke me while you fuck me. And then without missing a beat, she's like, I'm sick of this role play.
Yeah, I'm over it.
No fun. I'm over it. I'm going home. You're a homosexual or something like that. And then that's when he turns on her.
He dunks her head into like the latex multiple times.
Full Paris Hilton House of Wax style.
And then when he kills her, he has a second mask. Another mask, because as one should, you should have backup masks.
He has an identical mask to the one he's wearing.
Puts it on her and starts making out with the masked corpse.
The waxed masked corpse in a mask now. And then we just have, 3-4 minutes of him making out with himself effectively?
Maybe, yeah. And again, I think my notes, I'm like, what the fuck is this movie?
Yeah, and then cut back to Axel has Melanie tied to the bed again, I think, with like a knife to her. And it was like, you got to fight for your life, you bitch.
Oh, this is when I think it's a neighbor comes by and he's like, I don't want no funny business.
Yeah, something like that. Well, at some point she swears and he backhands her and he goes, don't you swear, or something like that. Like it's not proper.
Yeah, he's a rapist, but trying to be like, you can't commit suicide. You can't swear, almost like hardcore Christian value type of stuff. But he's a rapist.
I'll leave that comment where it's laid.
Okay. We don't need to go any further.
I'm just saying maybe those worlds aren't as far apart as
okay.
was led to believe. And then I don't know for the life of me. Just like I don't know who the guy under the mask is. I don't know how she gets out of this hotel room or house or whatever.
I even stopped taking notes at a point. I was like, I'm going to have like 10 pages if I just keep every single thing that happens, because
I think she was faking the Stockholm syndrome, right?
She was going to shoot herself. And then
Yes.
there was this whole scene where he was like, either go ahead or something like that.
Don't you get the lesson I'm trying to teach you after everything that we've been through? Dunkachino. Hooah.
Spot on. Sounds just like him.
Thank you.
I think we're at the point where it goes, you're bringing in what we thought might have been the ex with the other girl and the daughter, this whole thing.
Right.
And the girl's just like, I want mommy, not you, kind of like, I don't want you. I want my mommy. Yeah. She doesn't remember her, apparently, is what happens until the end.
What we learn is that her coma, her amnesia, isn't just short-term memory loss. She doesn't remember anything about her life other than...
It's like she's blocked everything out.
Everything out except for the desire to die. So she spends most of the movie not being threatened with rape. The rest of the time she spends it comedically trying to kill herself. As funny as the suicide can possibly be in an Italian movie about rape, it is, and it's in this movie.
They're serious subjects, but it's hard not to laugh at them because of the way they're shot and the way the characters interact.
Yeah, the acting, the cinematography, the shot composition is like the most inept comedy. It's like the most inept, not even comedy. It's the most inept, like, after-school special that you could ever watch in your life. It's the most depraved and ineptly made after-school special. And most of your audience won't even know what that is because they're so young. But all the old heads will know.
I mean, fast forward, there's eventually the showdown at the end. You find out who it is. We don't know. Is it an ex? Is it someone else? Is it whatever?
That's our first twist. It's not much of a twist because we don't even know what his association with that woman is.
She stabs him in the dick with the knife.
But he's so filled with sexual frustration and rage and fury at this woman, and we don't understand why, that even a knife to the dick can't stop him. Oh no, and he bonks her on the head again. What happens, Brad?
We get our Friday the 13th part 2 scene where he dives through the window. Axel, to the rescue, dives through the window with a gun, shoots him 8 times. I counted. I rewound it and counted.
The villain 8 times.
8 times with a 6-shooter.
With a 6-shooter, yes. So just to break this down, in case we haven't made it clear, this may be the only movie in history that has a antagonist rapist and a protagonist rapist. So
yes.
we have a rapist that we're rooting against, and now the movie says, I want you to cheer for that rapist's triumphal entry, heroic entry into that
and you're like, should I? Or do I
I happy this other rapist is here? Or should she just die at this point, this poor woman?
And then this is one of the oddest scenes, even before our little end zinger, is now you have our good rapist.
Yeah, the bad rapist is dead. Now we just have the good rapist.
Good rapist, the lady, and her daughter laying in bed together like a happy family.
Because?
I mean, it's Christmas. I knew that.
Well, because they are a family.
They are a family.
The good rapist has never been a rapist.
Oh, yes. I missed that.
The good rapist has been her actual husband all along, who also, we find out, was a police detective.
Yes.
Who they framed with rape. I don't know why they had to frame him with rape, but he went deep undercover. They framed him in the public's eye as a rapist. Kicked him off the police force. Yes. So that he could trick his wife, who had amnesia, into thinking that she was being raped, because they believe that if he took on the persona of the actual rape,
She would remember who it
would
was.
trigger her memories. She would remember who she was, who her family was, and who her rapist was, or the attempted rapist. And then they would be able to stop him before he killed other women.
Guess what, Jason? It's Christmas. What do you get on Christmas?
Not rape. You give the gift of memory, but not just memory. So the husband turns out to be like a completely different person than Al Pacino, rapist. And he's like, oh, I can't believe all the horrible things I had to do and say to you. And it was so hard. And there's so many times I just wanted to be myself and reach out and touch you and try to comfort you. And then she looks at him and he's like, I'm so sorry. Will you ever be able to forgive me, Melanie, for all the terrible things I had to do? And she goes, everything you did, Axel. Because apparently Axel's just his real name. Everything you did, Axel, you did out of love. Now we've seen this man brutalize and smack the shit out of this woman for 55 fucking minutes. But it was all a ruse to trick her into remembering who the real rapist was.
Who the masked man was, so we can bring him down.
As the viewer, have caught her amnesia. And the only way that we're going to remember who the fuck the killer was that we just watched is if her husband confronts us in the men's room at our local JCPenney and brutally and savagely beats us and threatens us with knives and rape for days on end. Then we'll be able to remember.
We'll remember
this fucking movie.
So then we can be a family again, and we're all good. Be a
family again. But it's a horror movie. So even though mom and dad are happy at Christmas, the little girl slinks off and says, Mommy, Daddy, can I go to my room? And they're like, sure, honey. And the creepy music starts to play because it's a horror movie, so something bad's got to happen. And what happens?
But she's going to open her present, the first gift of Christmas. She's going to open it up. Big, huge
She's
box.
Not supposed to. She finds a big box under the tree.
Huge box.
Takes it into her room, and she sneaks to open it.
And what's inside? The mask.
And the glove, I think. Or is it just the mask?
I don't know.
It's both, right?
I know she puts the mask on.
Like Goosebumps.
She has the voice. The voice comes out of the little girl after she puts the mask on.
The little girl now is Al Pacino. And she's like, come on down and dunk Pacino, Melody.
Yes.
I'm not gone, Melody. I'm still here.
And then the movie just ends. Wild ride. It's a wild ride.
Are we to believe that psychological trauma manifesting in that? Because there's nothing supernatural about this movie.
There's nothing, although he still punches through people's chests.
But the only thing supernatural about the movie is the supernatural ability or inability for anyone that worked on it to be able to make a coherent film. It's supernatural levels of inconsistency and logic be damned. But other than that, this is not a logical film.
I would like to see, curiously, what Claudio Fragasso's original cut was going to be of this movie.
What was his original screenplay?
Like you asked, did it have the masked guy, or was it something else, like Giallo-esque? And Bruno is like, no.
I could see a world in where the subplot is that the twist of the movie, because Giallo films are all like, they're crime mystery. A lot of them are mystery films.
Yeah.
So I could see a movie in which a woman is abducted and she's being harassed by this guy. And the twist is that the guy is actually her police officer husband who is solving her real rape. I guess, I don't know, like in a weird way, not in a real movie that like real people would put out, but in a movie that someone in Italy would have made in 1987. I know this is 1990, but bear with me. I could see that being a real Italian giallo film because they get real weird.
Yeah, they do.
And twisty, turny, and psychological, and like poor man's Hitchcock. I get that. But that doesn't really require this masked slasher guy at all.
No.
So it almost feels like that whole thread, like maybe there were two killers or maybe there was a real rapist in the original version, and we're not sure who it is. I don't know. I may be giving them too much of the benefit of the doubt.
You need to watch more of their movies, I think, and you'll be like,
I think so.
You know what? This kind of a lot of it checks out.
I mean, Claudio is around. Can somebody just ask him? Can you ask him? Can you track him down? He's still with us, right?
Yeah, he's still alive, as far as I know.
Who'd you get your Blu-ray from? Is it like Severin or
Severin put it out?
Do you know the people over there?
I don't.
Someone we know knows them,
or at least knows someone who can get
correct.
Yeah.
I need this answer. I need you to get it for me.
I know some of it, this caused quite a riff with Bruno and Claudio.
Was this like the last straw?
I think so.
You fucked my movie.
Yeah, you messed up my movie. Although Claudio came in and did multiple things to some of his movies. I think it was Rats. He came in and did a few things to it.
Did we cover everything? I think we missed a lot.
I'm sure we missed a lot, but I mean, I missed a lot and I sat and watched the movie.
Who's going to tie us to the bed for a week and force feed us Kentucky Fried Chicken so that we remember what we watched?
Someone needs to. Maybe we can get Claudio and he can tell us all about it.
Yeah, I swore a whole lot. I need to get slapped around so I can get back to my good old-fashioned Christian values. Traditional family values.
This movie was the perfect finale to this journey of Bruno Mattei. And I should say, and Claudio Fragasso, because most of the movies I covered, I don't think Claudio worked on Cruel Jaws at all, but all the others he did. And I even watched a lot of the interviews on the Blu-rays, and he would claim how much he directed. Like, I was the co-director. I was the co-director on this. Oh, it was Rats. He was listed in the credits as co-director. He got his
I think
name.
he's a co-director on this too. I think it says directed by, it's got both their names, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think Bruno's comes up because it'll say, like, when you look it up, it'll say uncredited for directing on a lot of things. He was the editor, but I don't think, and I think his wife was also an editor. I
swear to Christ, the Tubi version of this movie has that they both directed.
I'll have to look
in the credits. I swear
they could have added it, but I know he claims it, and I know Bruno said that it was his movie. I was just brought in to do this stuff, just like Zombie 3. Bruno is like, that's Fulci's movie. I just came in and added scenes because Fulci left and only had like a 70-minute movie.
Do you love this movie?
Do I love this? I wouldn't say I love it. To watch it again, I don't know what it would take to watch it again. I own it now. So
yeah, that was your mistake. I think this movie, if we're going to give guidance to your audience who may have heard us talk smack about the movie and be silly about it, I think the performances will the subject matter is serious.
Yes.
The filmmaking and the performances are so inept that you will chuckle, you will laugh out loud.
Correct. Yes.
And it's so absurd, it's so over the top, it's so melodramatic and so poorly made. I think this is like a group hang kind of movie with the right group.
Hey, come on over. Let's watch the Dual Rapist movie, guys.
I mean, if you picture like that, you can't. You gotta let the shock wash over people in real time. Like for you and I to sit down independently of one another, 4 hours away in our vacuums and watch it, I think our brains would break. But if you and I were in a room together and we were watching it, or you, me, and three or four other people who had never seen this movie, had no idea what it was about, and we could just watch them in real time as their brain starts to make the connection of what the movie is doing, that would be funny.
Is there a connection? Or would it be their brains melting going, what?
Well, I think that's phase one. Phase two is you then start to realize that the movie maybe wants you to side with one of the rapists. And then you're like, that's where you're like, wait a minute.
And then you're very confused of like, do I? I don't know.
Yeah, that's phase three. Phase three is like, am I glad he's here? Now here's one thing I think is sort of like, this almost doesn't count. But like a lot of times in Italian horror movies, illogical things happen and there's no explanation given.
Yes.
In this movie, an illogical thing happens where a man appears in a Jeep on a 2-lane highway and just is like, "Hey, Melanie!" Like somehow knows her, wants to rape her, and is obsessed with her.
I mean, now you know why he knows.
Well, that's
her.
what I'm saying,
yeah.
Right? So now it kind of makes sense because that's her husband, and he's trailing her, and this is a long ruse that him and the doctor, one of the reporters, says to our fake Loomis or our Nomus, and says to him, "Doctor, isn't this like extremely controversial? Didn't you worry about traumatizing the victim even more?" And then he's like, well, it's just a theory. Like he completely denies any deniability. Like he completely offloads it on the husband. It was like, I just cooked up the theory. He's the sicko that did it. And I think that's funny.
Now that you know what it all is, going back on a rewatch, would it be different knowing he's not a rapist? He's playing this long game to try to get her to come back around to eventually get the real bad guy of the movie.
I think then it's boring because now I'm watching a guy brutalize a woman and for literally no reason. like I guess there's a reason, but like he's not. So I'm watching a guy just commit spousal abuse.
Yeah, fair.
In the name of trying to
bring their family back together because they were going to get a divorce.
Right. That's right. When your family is fracturing, the only way to save it is to commit spousal abuse. Husbands, wives, if you're out there, if your marriage is failing, have you tried force feeding your spouse Kentucky Fried Chicken while you slap the shit out of them in front of your daughter, your small, impressionable daughter who will develop mental illness and become a rapist? Because here's the thing. If she's adopted the Gooey Gus persona, is this 7-year-old girl going to be doing heavy breathing on the phone, talking about how bad she wants to come in somebody's skull?
I want to know if she puts the glove on, if she can punch through someone's chest. That's what I want. That's really what I want to know.
So what we want is a movie about a child who calls people up and goes, "I'm so hardy,"
just to see if she'll punch through someone's chest.
Just to see if she'll punch somebody's chest.
If you could rate this movie out of 5,
do I at least get halves?
Yeah.
If I could rate this out of 5, I would give it like 2.5.
I'm about the same, middle of the road, and it is one. I say that I don't know if I could watch it again, but there might be, like you said, if there's a group of people or I need to watch it for another show or something, I could watch it.
The pitch of this movie is always, this is a Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff. I don't think it is.
Which, that's what I read, and I don't get it. I don't get, aside from he has a glove hand.
Yeah, I think you almost need that, though, because it puts you on the wrong foot. So you go, so like it opens up and you're like, wow, this is a pretty piss poor Nightmare on Elm Street, like the theater scene. And then when it, I think I need to perpetuate that lie to people. And if somebody's like, I got the craziest movie, you won't believe it. It's this Italian Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff by the people who made Trolls 2, or at least one of them. And you're like, wow, sign me up for that. And then it's just this despicable film. It makes no sense whatsoever. That is kind of a funny prank.
Would Night Killer potentially be on a list for a future season of the slashers?
If we covered the 90s, I think it would. Maybe, because it is a slasher movie, 100%. So yeah, if we ever got out of the 80s, which stay tuned, then maybe it make the list. Yeah, because we do cover international stuff. We tend to be like US centric, but we do cover international stuff as well.
I'm not gonna lie, I want Paul to watch this movie.
Oh my god!
And to hear him talk about it.
He would do it much more justice than I could, because I have a certain penchant for stuff like this. This one doesn't tickle my fancy the way that like something like Don't Panic does, or some of these other ones that are kind of like this, or even like a Troll 2, but it's not far off. And he doesn't have whatever that sicko gene is that I have, that you have.
Yeah.
And you have it way more than I have it. 99% of your DNA at this point is whatever that gene is.
I don't know if that's a good thing or
your chromosomes are fucking scrambled by this point, man. The stuff you watch. I just like, this is legitimately 10 steps above the stuff you watch just on a random Tuesday.
Agreed.
With you and me, like, I can't even imagine the effect it would have on Paul and the rage it would produce in him, and the expression of that rage would be, I think he'd have to retire afterwards. I think he'd have to be done. I don't think he'd ever be able to top himself.
Well, Jason, we've officially, depending on how the edit goes, this could be the longest Old Man Brad episode ever.
I've got the longest Back to Bluey episode ever. I definitely have the longest episodes of the Countdown ever. I've got the longest episodes of... I had the record, then your wife stole it from me, so I had to get it back.
Yeah, get it back, yeah.
So give me the official verdict once the final edit is done. And then, so I just go around setting records for longest episodes.
Who has season 2 of the Slashers coming? which I'm super excited.
I can tell you that we've recorded parts of it. By
Okay.
the point you're hearing this, it's already been parts of it have been recorded. We just got to finish. We just got to finish it.
And the amazing Binge movies is still chugging along.
That's right. And I've got episodes for the brand new season, which is going to be VHS Summer 5, already recorded. I'm recording more this week as we record this, and more to come. So that's going to be out hopefully by the end of July.
I've watched now, I did 6 movies for this month, and I've watched a couple of his other films, and I just think he was enjoying what he did, and he didn't care. He was like, you know what? This is what I want to make, and this is what I'm going to do.
And this is what it takes to make it. If it takes dubbing over James Gandolfini, then fuck it, I'm going to do it.
If I got to use another script, I don't care. I want to thank you for coming on to close out the month of Mattei. And who knows, maybe we'll bring more Bruno movies back. I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling, or, maybe go a little higher brow next time. But go listen to Binge. Go listen to the Slashers. Season 1 was great. I look forward to what you guys are doing season 2. And hopefully you'll come back and we'll see what movie I can come up with for us to try to make sense of the next time.
Boy, we're on a run, aren't we? It's going to be hard to top.
Anyone listening, if they made it this far, just subscribe to the show and you won't miss any chapter of the show, whether it's Tales from Tubi versus these series, whatever it is. Just subscribe and you won't miss them. I'll be back soon with a brand new episode. Just snuggle up in that blanket, turn off the lights, because it's okay to be scared. We'll talk to you later, everybody.